Hello and welcome to Dad's Our Job podcast. This is me flying solo for a little special video for you guys. Basically, I just wanted to review the live stream that we just had. So I've done a full, well over 2 hours chat with my old man, Dad, Tony. And we had a good old chinwag about the live game reaction of West Ham Chelsea, done our thoughts on transfer window, how West Ham have been. But we were joined by some fantastic guests of Tabs from the AFC podcast, AFC Growth podcast, sorry, and give them a follow on Twitter and Spotify and give them a follow. They're on Blue Threads. I'm not too sure what this new social media platform is called. They're on Threads. I think it's Blue Sky. Don't know. There's too many to go on nowadays, isn't there? But give them a follow on whatever social media platform that you see fit. But we was also joined by boxing sensation Joel Kadua, who is the brother to West Ham Academy talent Gideon Kadua, who's currently on loan at Wycombe Wanderers. Fantastic chat with him. A lot of boxing prospect coming out of him at the moment. He wants a belt next. I think he's going to be a great talent going forward in his weight class. So one to watch out for, Joel Kadua. He's a big West Ham fan. Give your love and support for that guy. And Rob popped in, locking up from the cheerleading gym that he does in the city. I say city, near City Airport. And so basically he's just enjoying life at the moment in his job that he finds very, very rewarding. But this video isn't just about what we reviewed on our live stream, but it's also talking about the transfer window ending. So what next for West Ham under Graham Potter? So there's a lot of things that could be said. I mean, obviously the transfer window, people are out of contracts. There's so many free agents now that have become released by their clubs in the summer and even in the winter. But are these free agents really going to improve our squad? And I actually don't think they are. I mean, you're looking at the likes of Wissam Ben Yedder, who is a free agent for many reasons that I don't really want to go into. Daniel Amati, who's been a free agent since his release at Leicester. There's loads of other talents here. I'm just looking at a list now. You've got Ryan Kent, who was released from Fenerbahce. He hasn't been with a club since October, so whether he would offer anything as a left winger. Serge Aurier, 32 years of age. His last club was Nottingham Forest, I believe. Premier League experience, significant European experience, but could he really come in at right back and kind of challenge Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Kufal? I don't think so. The names here are not great. Maxi Gomez, who was a striker we were linked with previously under many years ago. I believe it might have been under Bilic that we were linked with this guy. He's a free agent. He's 28. What he will offer to West Ham, I absolutely don't know. Kazawa, Lervin Kazawa, who's been made available. Again, he's been a free agent for since August. So again, what can he offer? I mean, he's 32 years of age. I think it's just well beyond. I mean, I could go through this list of free agents here right now, and honestly, I don't really see where the answer is going to be in terms of improving our squad. I think the business that we've done by recalling James Ward-Prowse and signing Evan Ferguson on loan. Having said that, I wish there was an option on there, not an obligation, but give us the option to buy him because he might just be the fit we've been looking for. He might not. He's got a injury record of 4 injuries, and he's only 20 years of age. But bearing in mind he was 18 when he burst on the scene. He's been thrown in the deep end. He scored hat-tricks against Newcastle. He's been touted for an £80 billion move at Manchester United when he was 19. He's had one really bad injury, which is a cruciate knee ligament injury, which took him out for a very fast, significant amount of time. But he's come back. He's had a little breakdown of an injury in another area, but he's playing. If he wasn't fit, he wouldn't have played for Brighton at the weekend just gone. I think he could be a really good option for West Ham. I'm really, really happy to signing him. I just hope that it's not a Lingard 2.0 situation where you fall in love with a lone player. They do fantastically well. They elevate you up the league. They get you European football. And then when it comes to signing him, what do? You're kind of outpriced yourself by giving a player an opportunity to thrive and rebuild their career. And then when they get the option to come back to the club, they go for a bigger offer elsewhere. So I'm hoping that Evan Ferguson can be signed in the summer for a reasonable fee. I think 50 million is probably about right if he's fit and if he's scoring goals. And I hope that a deal could be had, because by the sounds of it, Brighton have already signed his replacement by signing the Greek forward. Excuse me for getting this completely wrong. He's a Greek forward for Nuremberg. I'm not going to try and pronounce his name, but yeah. So basically, they've already got his replacement lined up, and that's the Brighton model. They've already found the next Evan Ferguson whilst they've got Evan Ferguson, and maybe that's something that we are looking into now by having Graham Potter in charge and Carl McCauley in charge now. Let's say Daniel Cummins from Celtic, there's a pre-agreement already in place. We offered Celtic more money because his head's been turned. He wants to come to us. It's not, we've seen it with our academy talent when they go up to Newcastle and Leeds respectively, but we've done the same. So we can't really pass judgment on that strategy. But we've offered Celtic more money for the player to get him in earlier, and they've rejected it, and they're willing to wait it out until the summer at a loss. So I think, based off the hype and the feedback, I've not particularly seen him play. I know he come on for Celtic in the Champions League recently. I can't judge on him. But looking at the situation, is he already the replacement for Evan Ferguson? Again, Evan Ferguson is here, so it remains to be seen. But the other option that we're completely ignoring here, and I wanted to touch on this last, is how important our academy is right now. Graham Potter loves to use youth players. He's well known for reducing the average age of a senior squad drastically by putting more faith into younger players and kind of shifting out the old guard slowly. He doesn't do it all the way across. He picks and chooses who is the influential senior player that can help the others develop. So I can imagine fringe senior players being released in the summer. I could expect someone like Aaron Cresswell being given another year contract because he's so influential in mentoring the likes of Oliver Scholes. I think he could stay. But again, I just touched on it there. Oliver Scholes, what a future that kid has. He's a starting left back for me next season. Even if Emerson goes, I think Oliver Scholes is ready for that position. In terms of centre back position, we've got Caelan Casey, who is again a fantastic youth player, but still needs to develop. He needs a solid loan underneath him. But it sounds like Graham Potter is trusting him to be the fourth choice centre back, trusting him to be in physical training with his peers, and maybe there's something that he can see that we can't. But he's a proven centre back at academy level. I've watched him play when West Ham beat Colchester 4-0 in the EFL Cup at Colchester, because it was the nearest ground to me. And Caelan Casey was literally roughing it with the with the big boys, the older boys. He was having a scrap with a 30-year-old Tavidi, and he was giving it back. He was taking it and he was giving it back. He was mouthing off to him, and I thought, you know what? It's almost like a young John Terry vibe about him. I'm not saying he's going to be good as John Terry. He might be better. You don't know. But in terms of, he's not afraid. He's not going to shy away from a confrontation from another player, and that's what I really like in my centre back. I want him to give it back. And then also you've got Lewis Alford again. He's still a baby, really, 17, 18 years of age, and coming on in games against Chelsea, and holding his own. I think again he's going to be a star. He's the next Michael Carrick for me. He's probably, to be fair, it's not really fair on saying that. I think he is the next Lewis Alford. I think he's so individual. I think he can offer a massive amount of creativity. We just can't play him in that CDM position because that's not his position. People need to get that out of their head straight away. He's not a CDM. He's a creative centre midfielder who could be partnered with someone like another academy player that's out on loan in George Urphy. So George Urphy and Lewis Alford in the middle of the park does sound quite good in terms of an academy prospect. But again, we touched on it earlier that Kadua is out at Wycombe smashing it up, and by the sounds of the interview earlier, he's kind of been given the heads up that he's going to be challenging for his spot next year in the senior squad, and he wants to prove himself. He wants to be given the opportunity, and it sounds like he's already had that conversation with Graham Potter for next season. So that's exciting. Gideon Kadua could definitely put himself in the mix for that left wing spot next year in competition with Somerville. And then another left winger who could probably come in as a forward is Callum Marshall, who is doing relatively well at Huddersfield. He's come under stick with the manager Michael Duff for not giving more, not playing more, but I think he's just trying to get more out of the player that he knows he can get, and there's no harm in that. If he feels that Callum is a significant talent that's been bracketed by scouting websites online within the likes of young Duran around the same age group, then there's something about that. There's something about Callum Marshall that's quite special, and I think we've just not unearthed it fully yet. If he's playing for Northern Ireland men's team, or he's in the squad, and he's playing League One football as an academy product, there's something in that. So I think that our academy could be the answer we've been looking for. I don't think reverting to these free agents that are out at the moment are not the answer. I mean, years ago, we were light in midfield, and Pellegrini needed someone, so he got Samir Nasri in. David Moyes needed someone to come in and do a job to help get keep West Ham away from a relegation spot. So you go get Patrice Evra in. I think them days are gone. I think them days of signing someone like that are gone. Unless it's someone really special who's been made available for whatever reason, then I can't see West Ham going in and getting free agents like that anymore. Just doesn't make sense. Why revert to free agents that are over the age of 30 when you've got 20-year-old FA Cup youth winning academy players hungry that want to play? They want to play to a 3-4-2-1 formation that they've been playing whilst they've been at the academy. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever for the club to change that, to ignore the academy. They have to use that academy. There's no doubt about it. An interesting stat here. So at the weekend we saw Ethan Nwaneri. Sorry if I've completely hashed that saying. And Lewis Skelly both play for Arsenal against Manchester City at the weekend, and both score in a game where I think they pipped Manchester City 5-1. Rob's going to hate me for that. But those two players played in the FA Cup Youth Final against West Ham, where they lost 5-1. And you look at that team of Kadua, who was captain, Caelan Casey, Callum Marshall, George Urphy, Lewis Alford. You've got Sean Moore. You've got David Mabama, who's now at Man City, who I think we've probably missed a trick by not giving him a contract that he deserves. I think he could have stepped up. You've got Kelly, who's now currently at Doncaster Rovers on loan. Josh Briggs. You've got Dan Rigg. Josh Ijala, who was floating around the team at the time. Finley Herrick, Mason Terry, who's currently at Hornchurch FC on loan, doing a good job there, doing a really, really good job there. That academy, they wipe the floor with Arsenal. And Miles Skelly and Ethan Nweri are worth about £70 million between them now because they've been given opportunities. Imagine how much money West Ham could be earning by giving more of our academy players the opportunity rather than going and to sign Guido Rodriguez on a free and give him 80, 90 grand a week in wages when you could probably fund 5 academy players on the wages that they've got. One Guido is 5 academy products that makes West Ham. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. I think don't be too disheartened by the transfer window. I think we've got a lot of talent out there at the moment that we can rely on to see us out for the rest of the season. I can see this being an extended pre-season, really, when you think about it. We only need 13 points from 14 games to stay up for the magic 40 points mark. We're not in any cups. I think we just need to show our support to the manager and let him find out what his best way of playing. I mean, Rob pointed this out. We're very excited about Potter. We're very excited about the results that are going to come in future. But at the moment, we've only won once under him and we've lost the others. So we've lost against Aston Villa. We've lost against Chelsea. We've lost against Aston Villa in the FA Cup as well, not forgetting. We lost against Crystal Palace, but we won against Fulham. And that game, we was gifted 2 goals. So I think from this point, from this video on of the 3rd of Feb, 2025, or 4th of Feb now, which is just turned, now's the time to start judging Potter. Now's the time because we need to see how he's going to play until the season and then see how we go from there. I'm excited as a West Ham fan. The average term for a Premier League manager nowadays is 18 months. So I'm hoping he's a legacy manager for us. I hope he's a 5-year manager and I hope he can build something special at the club. But I hope he builds it with the academy. Thank you. Peace out.